Welcome to a new episode of Business Beyond the Game. I'm your host, Eric Jackson, and I'm pleased to welcome a new guest who joins us from the world of UFC. We're joined today by Octagon Girl, model, contemporary artist, and businesswoman, Brittney Palmer. Brittney, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Definitely. Happy to have you here. Brittney, you got into UFC more than a decade ago, and you carved out your name in the space, right? But since you've also had your hands in other areas, right, from endorsements to fitness-related sponsorships, in your mind, Brittney, like, how much of an opportunity is there for Octagon girls to leverage their popularity to create business opportunities outside of MMA?
I think it's not even just being Octagon Girl gives you this platform and this audience, but because of social media, you're able to really catapult yourself into a whole different realm. I think what it's really about is having a passion for something other than just ring girling.
Right.
I always knew that was going to be something that would help promote the bigger picture.
No, definitely, for sure. Like, would you say for you, do you look at UFC as merely a platform to drive your own personal brand? How has the way you view UFC from when you started versus now?
Well, when I first started UFC, I was 20 years old. So that was 16 years ago. That's how long. And it was merely a gig. I was a professional dancer, and I was just in the entertainment industry out here in Vegas. And I was in a car accident and in turn became an artist. So I would post my paintings, but I wasn't doing it as like art therapy.
Right.
It wasn't as yet. And I would get responses on, I think it was just Facebook at this time. And everyone was just like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Can I buy it? And all of a sudden, it was just like, boom, wait a minute here. I could actually do a passion that I love and use my platform with UFC and following to sell.
Right. Was that sort of the light bulb moment years ago? It was like, hold on, we might have something.
I know. Then I was like, well, I think now if this can be a business, I'm going to take it seriously. So I went to school for art.
No, definitely, for sure. And do you encourage other models to get into the ring girl business? How do you just feel about that? Do you tell others to do it too, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that everyone should do what is driving them if they want to. And
Right.
I know that there's many girls for each MMA, organization. So I don't know how much it could be, but yeah, go for it. Fun.
Yeah, no, have fun with it, right? That was kind of what got you in it, right? Just having a good time to begin with, and then it sort of opened up new opportunities for yourself, right? Business.
Fun. And especially because when I was hired on, there was no female fighters. So we were like the only breath of feminine energy that the organization had. So at that time, we were doing Maxim, FHM, cover of Playboy. Like, we were just on top of it. So it was a beautiful opportunity to segue this opportunity into what's going to drive me after Octagon.
I know, and that's a perfect segue because you're busy doing your own work, modeling and creating new art. And do you ever get to a point where your schedule outside of UFC becomes too much, and you decide, maybe it's not, you don't want to be an Octagon girl anymore?
We're about at that point. It's getting very busy, and I always said that, it's going to naturally have a transition. And I'm 36 years old, and there's so many things on the horizon, and my art it's starting to become something I really need to be focusing on a lot more if I want to be great. It's not a weekend thing. It's a lifestyle of creating and really putting a lot of my into it.
Yeah, no, that's great, definitely. I'm curious your thoughts, kind of going back to UFC. What do you kind of think about just the merger, right, with UFC and WWE, and how does that impact Octagon girls like yourself? Like, are we going to see you appearing at WWE events, or what does that look like?
I think so. I think that it's great. UFC has always been, this way. They're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I guess that shows it's a successful brand. And I think it seems fitting, and honestly, Dana and everyone, they know what they're doing. So
Right.
I hope that they can bring all the ring girls and together. That'd be cool.
Definitely. And speaking of OnlyFans, you've partnered with OnlyFans. I think when most people think of OnlyFans, right, they think of sexually explicit content. But you've been able to use the platform to connect with other artists like yourself. What opportunities do you see with OnlyFans in terms of expanding your own personal brand?
You know what I love about OnlyFans is it really is doing a great job at cutting that persona. Like they're creating opportunities for their content creators to express themselves, whether it's with cooking or art, sport, or makeup.
Yeah.
They're not generalizing sexiness. It's everything, and they want everyone. I think it's a lifestyle platform that doesn't cut off a creative freedom to do whatever and say whatever. On the political, they don't care. Go do it. Like
Right.
if you want to show, yourself in sexy lingerie, go do it. Or if you want to just make a cocktail, go do it. They support all of it. So I think that's why I stand behind them.
No, it really seems like about empowerment over there, right? They've also partnered with other athletes too, and so
UFC fighters.
Yeah, UFC fighters, right? Definitely. Do you feel like you've been able to connect with fans on that platform, unlike any other? Because I feel like it could be segmented, right? You have your art fans over here, right, and you have your UFC fans over here. It seems like a platform, almost a one-stop shop in some way.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you think about it, what's a way? I mean, this is a business conversation. So, from a business standpoint, when you're connecting with fans on these other platforms, it takes time. Time is money.
Right.
So when you're working with OnlyFans and you're able to capitalize on the connections with fans, that makes it so much more fun because everyone's getting something. The best business deal is when everyone gets something.
Right.
So I get to connect with them on many levels. And a lot of the fans on my channel are art lovers, they're music lovers, like Tupac, all of that stuff. And if you want UFC fans, we'll talk about our favorite fighters. Like, it's great. And I feel comfortable to do it, that I'm not pressured into doing something other than who I am.
Do you separate that from social media though, OnlyFans? I mean, where do you kind of rank in terms of your ability to connect with fans? Is it still Instagram maybe number one, or would you feel like OnlyFans, or where do you what's the hierarchy there in terms of connection?
Well, the hierarchy is OnlyFans is is helping me live a beautiful lifestyle,
right.
And things like companies that I want to start. It's like I can fund them myself.
Yeah.
So obviously that's my baby. And Instagram is a way to promote it. And Instagram is it's fun because it's like in real time. But when I want to talk and express myself in a different way, OnlyFans gets the big tune.
Brittney, you've been around for a minute. I'm just curious your thoughts as we wind down here. From your experience as an Octagon girl, an artist, as well overall businesswoman, what's just been the best business lesson you've learned, you would say, just during your career? Or one of them?
Well, I have two. Be careful working with your friends. Big one. But also, if you do that, and just in general, this is a selfish thing.
That sounds like you're coming from experience there.
Of course, what happens is you're like, if you haven't tried to start a business with your best friend, are you even friends? Right, yeah. It doesn't make it a bad thing. It's a very fine line you have to graze with it. I'm still in business with my friends, but it's always that kind of, we don't want to step on each other's toes, so I think that's a big one. Another one is get everything in writing. You could just do standard agreement, but I think that is a huge one, especially for models that are coming out. Because you get excited, but you gotta get everything right.
See it in ink, right? Definitely. I love that. Those are two good ones. Really good. Well, there you have it, folks, from the woman herself. Thank you for watching Business Beyond the Game. Brittney, thank you so much for taking the time to join the show.
Thank you.